Chapter 125 to 126, Ace Pav. It took us 3 days to reach risky Red Island. Man, this place is awesome. This was my initial reaction when I came here. This place is a forest, an old forest with massive old trees similar to Little Garden, an island I visited in the past. The thing that stands out the most here is the dark red volcano in the middle of the island. It has a majestic appearance, almost as if it is a majestic dragon itself, making the whole island hot with steam all around. I was in awe for a while. My body felt good. My steam fruit allows me to maintain my body temperature, so it was no surprise that I was not feeling hot. But why was I feeling good? It was because around me there was steam. Natural steam made by the volcano. My body is absorbing the steam and tempering itself in real time. I looked at my companions on the side. They were in worse condition. Huff. Ace, you don't feel anything? As the gasping for air masked asked me a question, I just grinned. A little. I lied to keep them familiar with me. Anyway, since I don't feel hot nor uncomfortable, I can check the area around the volcano. Hey, Deuce. He looked at me. Where did you get the news about that fruit? Do you know any more specifics? He made a thinking posture. Well, I told you about that friend from the underworld. He got this intel and shared it with me. It is supposed to be a dragon fruit, ancient Zoan. Oh, you told me about All-Star King once. He also has a dragon fruit, didn't he? Yes. Then it's decided, I cried out. As the future Pirate King's right-hand man, you would need a strong fruit. I will search the island and get this fruit for you. Everyone on the crew cheered, hearing me. I gave them a last look before jumping in the air. Frau! Ace, wait! You don't have to! That is all I heard as I was flying in the steamy air. My flight ability is quite unstable in the sea since I can get swept by the wind blows, but since this whole place is a steamy fountain, it's my domain. Even though I cannot control steam that comes from nature, this isn't bad. General Pav. Before anyone of the crew could stop Ace, he flew off and started to look around the island. His last words, "Wait in the ship if it's too hot for you!" Obviously, they didn't care about it. Masked Deuce forgot to add one important line. He made a worried face. I heard the Jack of the Beast Pirates is also here currently, looking for the fruit. Darn, Ace will surely mess up. Everyone, let's go. He also started to run behind the flying Ace. The other crew member followed suit. Outside the volcano, which was boiling inside, a group of people wearing similar-looking clothes and 2 horns could be seen. In front of them stood a massive man with a metallic jaw mask with tusk-like horns attached to the 2 sides of his head. He was Jack the Drought, a 27 feet man, Kaido's all-star from Beast's Pirates. They were standing at the edge of the volcano, looking within the boiling volcano itself. Bear boop! Some gifters took steps back, seeing the boiling volcano. This place was very hot, yet they were forced to come here because of Jack. Fa! Around them, a gifter with eagle powers was flying while his sharp eyes were looking within the volcano. Beside him, a man with bat powers was flying as well. Igura, are you certain? Jack's heavy voice made everyone stiff. Igura, the eagle man, nodded. His eagle vision could see the terrain of the volcanic walls clearly. Yes, just around the level where lava ends, there is a hole. Enough to allow a slim, crouching man to enter it. It's a cave. I am assuming it's the location where the fruit is kept. I can be wrong, though. As Igura ended his line with an E, Jack nodded. We are not certain about the fruit, so before sending anyone there, we need to confirm if the fruit really is there or not. Everyone gulped, hearing him. Sending anyone in that volcano? While everyone nodded in fright, Jack looked at the bat-looking man flying beside him. Batman, try searching with your sound wave sensing. Pay special attention to objects as big as fist inside that cave. It might be the devil fruit. I got that. The man-bat. Batman nodded and closed his eyes. His vision started to move. Going towards the cave, the world looked invert-colored to him. Around 3 minutes later, he opened his eyes. "Sir," Batman came down from the air. "You are right, there really is a devil fruit inside the cave." Everyone gulped, hearing him. They actually hoped there wasn't any fruit. After a short silence from Jack, he grinned under his mask. "Now we just need someone to go there." Unfortunately, none of them are heat-resistant enough to do so. "Boss, we can't go there." Jack's face darkened. He was a fishman, so even with his ancient zone's defense, he was very uncomfortable around this much heat, meters above the lava. So going down using a strong rope was out of the way. Besides, Igura said the hole is only big enough for a slim, crouching man to enter. I can't possibly achieve that. Jack was 27'3" feet tall. However, there wasn't anyone else to approach it other than him either. He had a high defense, but that wasn't the case for others. Their bodies would just melt. Jack gritted his teeth. Why? If it was King, he could have just flown there. His inferiority complex started to act up as he clenched his fist. He then looked at Batman and Igora. "Prepare yourselves. You need to dive down." Huh? Boss, our bodies would melt." Jack laughed. "We don't know until we try, do we? If one person didn't make it, the second will. If the second couldn't, the third will. If the third couldn't, then the fourth definitely. Who are you people?" Suddenly, Jack's eyes grew as he abruptly looked at the unknown voice, seemingly coming from the sky. "You guys look familiar." It was Ace. "I think... Oh, Beast's pirates. Right?" Unlike Luffy, Ace always kept up with bounty posters, so he knew the ones with high bounty. He easily recognized Jack the Drought. "Why are you here?" As Ace was about to say something again, he heard a voice from far. The voice was in his head. This was one of his crew members' devil fruit power, telepathy. Ace replied to his crewmate while the people on the ground looked at him with a frown, especially Jack. How is he flying more so, with such control in this heat? He easily understood it's his devil fruit power. He could see steam coming out of his body while also absorbing the natural ones. Isn't he a perfect scapegoat? Jack snickered to himself. He couldn't see this rat disobeying him, an all-star of Kaido, so he can just order him to get the fruit. But Ace was in a whole other world. Hearing the intel, Ace was excited. This meant he might get Jack. However, "No, that's not good. My crew would definitely get hurt." "Ace, listen to me. Get away from there. We are preparing our ship. We will leave." Ace's thought was cut off with a yell from Jack. "Hey, you! Come down here. I have an order for you. If you get the job right, Emperor Kaido will take you in." Ace stopped his telepathy. Silently, he stared down for a second. "This guy?" He was angry that Jack dared propose to him the offer to become his subordinate. He wanted to punch him, but he suddenly got a plan. He grinned and talked in telepathy. The feminine voice of Perry, who was secretly in love with Ace, sounded for the last time, only for the connection to be severed by Ace himself. Ace looked down. "Please, how can I help you?" Portgas D. Ace Pav. I was looking down. "How can I help you, please?" As I asked this question, I noticed Jack had a small smirk under his jaw mask. "This will be easy." But thinking such, I came down from the sky first, standing in front of the giant man. Jack then said while releasing an intimidating aura, "Kid, you have just won a 1 in a million chance. Be grateful. Kaido will be happy hearing that you helped on this mission. Get it?" "Kaido, huh?" I nodded. "I understand, but what do I need to do?" Jack made a grim face. "First, according to him, there is a devil fruit they are looking for. They didn't reveal anything more, obviously. They already found the fruit. It is in a small hole inside the volcano, just where the lava ends." Jack said, "Since I seem to have some kind of immunity to heat and can fly, I can easily enter the hole and then grab the fruit. to be honest. This is easy. Baraboop. My thoughts were interrupted by the sound of boiling lava. Yes, currently I am swimming through the steam inside the borders of the volcano, going towards that hole. I can feel the gazes full of anticipation on my back. Losers. And I will just take the fruit and flee. In this fountain of steam, although I can't control the natural steam by releasing my own, then mixing them with the natural ones, I can absolutely control it. I've been doing it all the time while flying from the sea to here to the volcano. 40% of the island is already below me. I am aware that Jack is strong, stronger than I am currently. However, this is my domain. Even if I can't win, I can run. As long as my crew doesn't come here and goes back to the ship as I ordered, I can escape. Thinking such, I entered the small hole, barely. They probably already reached the ship. I am feeling hot. Yes, being just 1 meter above the magma heats up even me. Although I am sweating, it is bearable. Then I entered the cave. My hand got burned as I placed it on the floor. This hurts. I barely managed to control myself from screaming and headed forward, crawling. Basically, I am torturing my palm and knees right now. Nothing I can't handle. Gritting my teeth, I kept crawling. The cave was a little deep, deeper than I would have liked it to be. So it took around 3 minutes of torture when I finally reached a wider place. One can even call this a room. In the middle of the room, there was an altar. On top of it, a fruit that clearly looked like a devil fruit stood. I grinned. The fruit looked majestic. I would easily believe it's a dragon fruit if anyone told me that. I stood up and went ahead slowly and was about to touch the fruit when I suddenly felt suspicious. I heard in many pirate folk tales that when they went treasure hunting, they encountered this type of altar where the treasure was kept. Most of the time, the whole place crumbled upon touching the treasure. Will this whole place crumble down if I touch it as well? It was something one should consider. I stayed silent for 3 seconds before I couldn't endure the heat and grabbed the fruit. Fortunately, nothing happened. Sighing, I started to crawl out of the hole. It took about another 3 minutes. Oh, hey, he is out! Yes, I can see that. Coming out while ignoring the voices, the first thing I did was fly. I instantly flew hundreds of meters above the volcano. I couldn't endure the heat anymore. Hey, you come down here! Hearing the call, I looked down. There Jack was looking at me, especially at my hand expectantly. I first searched if my companions came here to do something stupid like save me or not. Fortunately, they didn't. However, I can see some of them coming in this direction from far. This is not good. Hey, kid! My thoughts were cut by Jack's words. What are you doing up there? Come down! Dumbass. Hey! I had a question. How strong is Kaido? My last question before I flee. Jack's face went dark. He seemed to understand something about me. He laughed a little before looking straight at my eyes. Kid, he is someone out of your imagination. Don't even try anything stupid, or you, along with all your companions, will all die. I just laughed before putting the fruit in my side bag. You know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna go now. Whoosh. I turned around and gave force around me, instantly leaping a few hundred meters ahead. Ooh. General Pav. Jack's rage reached his limit as he transformed into his mammoth form. He ordered Igara and Batman, "You two, chase him!" He ran fast with his giant body while both of them flew. Igara was fast being an eagle, but Batman was a little slow. Brat, you made a terrible mistake. With heavy but fast steps, Jack started to run towards the ship that he noticed when Ace went inside. Ace Pav. As I leaped ahead, I instantly started to fly towards Deuce and a few other comrades of mine who were coming in this direction from approximately 1,000 meters away. I covered the distance in 5 seconds. Hey, Deuce, I got the fruit! I grinned, seeing his shocked face. Run! Ha ha! Deuce screamed one last time before starting to run. He was happy, obviously. He was going to get a dragon zone after all. Things were supposed to go easy according to plan. But, hey! The eagle man I saw before surpassed my speed and went towards my ship. I felt my blood freeze. Masked Deuce and others noticed it. He started to run faster towards the ship. I flew too. My speed increased. I was about to catch up to the eagle, but... I felt a headache and almost lost consciousness. What was that? I looked at the culprit behind me. It was that bat-looking guy. I am Batman. Nobody can escape my sound waves. Sound waves. He is a bat, no wonder. He again prepared another attack. Today, your death will be granted for disobeying Jack-sama. Before he could finish, I punched my hand in the air and he got swept by it in seconds, flying back to the volcano. Damn it, he made me be late. I turned my head around the ship. I was only 500 meters away from it. I could see my companions, but the eagle man had already reached there. I increased my speed. I was able to sense this place's steam was under my control now. This was my top speed where I can't even see anything. Whoosh! Instantly, I reached the ship, but what I witnessed made me baffled. Ugh! Ace! Don't come here! One of my companions, Perry, was already taken hostage by the eagle man. He had one of his claws on her neck. Damn it, I was late! He laughed while his claw penetrated Perry's neck. A little bit of blood started to flow. Kid, listen, hand over the fruit and I will free her. I gritted my teeth looking at him. I got this fruit for Deuce. He must be very expectant to eat it, but he also took Perry as a hostage. I looked at Perry, who stopped struggling. Perry? She just smiled. It's fine, Ace. Give the fruit to Deuce. It's my fault I am so weak. Perry is a woman with light brown hair and a perfect hourglass body. The thing most beautiful about her is her chest and her eyes. Her ocean blue eyes. I am no airhead to not notice that she likes me. But I don't want to enter a relationship with my companion. It would cause many problems. But it is true. I am attracted to her. So, besides her being my companion, there are some other reasons why I don't want Perry to die. I then looked down at masked Deuce. Our eyes met. Yes, that's what we talked about with our eyes. Masked Deuce was the same as me. He would care about the crew first before caring about himself. Hey, E! The eagle bastard yelled. Quickly throw it! I nodded and took out the fruit from the side of my bag. Yes. A grin appeared on my face. I am throwing it! With all my power and hockey, I punched my fist and the fruit forward. Because of the heavy steam around me, my punch caught fire because of the friction with the air. Jew! Along with my fist, the fruit got into the fire and hit the eagle man in the face. He was thrown backward, out of the ship. However, as the fruit fell on the deck of the ship, I noticed Jack arriving here too. I am confident the fruit is fine. It was fine in that volcano after all. But this was bad. I screamed at Perry. Perry, throw the fruit to Deuce, now! She nodded after gulping twice. Yes! She did the same as Jack ran faster towards Deuce, who was the closest to him. Deuce caught the fruit. Jack reached him and swung his elephant nose. Die, kid! However, Deuce had already taken a bite of the fruit. His body started to change. His skin became harsh and dark. He started to sprout 2 wings on his back. His body structure changed. Kriya! He cried as if it hurt. Roar! With another cry, Deuce turned into a majestic black dragon with spiky wings. Bam! With his newly evolved limbs, he hit Jack and made his giant body fly a few meters away. Strong. That's the only thing that I could think of. Deuce was now stronger than me. Hey, Ace! Perry called me as I looked at her. Don't you recognize that beast? I frowned. What is she? Ah. That's right. It's a beast that was rumored to exist on this island thousands of years ago. We even got a photo that Deuce showed us that he got from his underworld friend. It's a dragon, an ancient beast called Nergigante. The fruit should be an ancient Zoan Ryu no Mi model, Nergigante. I gulped seeing this. He looked majestic. A monster, even compared to Jack's mammoth form. My ally got powerful. I was confident that he would win against Jack. That said, I want to meet Deuce's friend from the underworld. He is the one to give him the information. To begin with, he must be one of his close friends.